Hey guys, welcome back to the Bond Report. My name is Chris, aka the Bearded Blofeld. So we're back today with Hot Wheels. That's right, I'm diving back into some diecast. One of my favorite elements of the entire kind of collecting franchise thing, if you will. And keep in mind, if you like diecast and you like James Bond like I do, please consider subscribing. I always appreciate a thumbs up, and don't forget to ring that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of my future content. Okay, so we've got some cars here today, and I've got a little help from a little Mr. Daniel Craig here, but we're gonna dive in because Hot Wheels just released this guy. This is the No Time to Die V8 Vantage Aston Martin, and this is a special Hot Wheels because it has not ever been done before. Johnny Lightning has done 3 different variants. I've got 2 here with me today. The old one is actually in my collection. I didn't feel like digging it out, but we're gonna open up one of the Johnny Lightnings today. I've actually already got the Hot Wheels opened up, so we're gonna take a look at him as well and compare and see the differences between these 2 diecasts. All right, let's dive in. As we can see, and Mr. Daniel Craig here, he's gonna help us out. I'm gonna slide his base plate off to the side for just a sec. Actually, we'll leave him right there. But as we can see, we've got the No Time to Die Hot Wheels Premium, all new casting, all new model, and then we've got a couple variants here where we've actually got, now this is, slide this over, this is actually the Living Daylights variant that they just put out recently. I think this is actually the last diecast that Johnny Lightning put out for the Bond series. Love this model. Great rendition, but we're not going to look at that today. No, we're going to go back a little bit, and we're actually going to look at this one because this compares directly to this one. So we've got, this is the No Time to Die version, as you can see right here. It says No Time to Die. We'll bring that up a little bit so the camera can catch that, see if it will focus on that. So as you can see, No Time to Die right there. And then, so like I said, we're going to take a look at this one and this one. So let me go ahead and get these guys opened and we'll take a look. Thanks, Danny. Okay, there we go. And through a little bit of internet magic, there we go. So here are both of the cars. Now, as you can see, we've got a couple differences right off of the rip here. So with both of them, you're gonna see a variation in color here. Now, the biggest thing you're gonna notice is also the size difference. If we put them directly side by side, you're gonna see Johnny Lightning, let me get Danny to help me out here. Thank you, Danny. Johnny Lightning is actually ever so slightly longer. But if we put them the other direction, let me try it this way. You can see that Hot Wheels is just ever so slightly wider, just a little bit. So, and I don't have a, micrometer or anything to actually give you the full measurements, but the biggest difference is not really even in their size, but it's actually in their styling. If you look, I think the length has to do with this. If you look at the length here on the Johnny Lightning, you're gonna see that this slope is actually longer. And what that does, the Hot Wheels is not that way. And what it does, it actually kind of throws off the stance a little bit. It gives a little bit more bumper under here. This up tuck is a little bit longer. But ultimately, the biggest factor that makes the Hot Wheels, in my opinion, stand out more, it's not even the length, it's not that, it is the wheels. The wheels are night and day different. Now, I will say, and I'm gonna bring this back in for just a second so you can see this. If you look at the Living Daylights version, this one actually has chrome rims. So they actually made these chromed out. That's actually not even accurate. These are more of a satin finish. And you're gonna see that as we get a little bit, and I'm gonna show some pictures. These are more of a satin finish. And I'm gonna show some pictures here of the real vehicle. This is more to spec to what it would be. And so I think that's where Hot Wheels kind of stands out here. Now, as far as other features go, I'm gonna put Danny back on his stand there. I'm gonna bring these up like this. So the front ends, there's a pretty big difference when it comes to just some of the quality features here on the front end alone. The license plates, you can almost see some of the details better on the Johnny Lightning. And I think that is because the Johnny Lightning actually has more of a kind of satin finish to it, as to where the Hot Wheels uses a bit more gloss. And that is kind of is a pro and a con. But even in the bumper, if you just look at the bumper, right on that front edge, the Hot Wheels has a black tip on the end of the bumper, and it is a chrome bumper versus the Johnny Lightning that has a silver and it does not have those black tips. So the devil is in the details when it comes to diecast, and a lot of collectors will tell you that. Now, when we slide them over on the side again, we can kind of see those side slits. And again, Hot Wheels is going to win out here. It's a deeper cut. You've got more negative space back in there behind it. It's a deeper black behind it. Johnny Lightning still accomplishes it. It's just not as cleanly done. Both paint jobs, very, very nice. I will say there's no lack of quality in the paint, but I got to give it to Hot Wheels again. This is a more accurate color match of the paint versus the Johnny Lightning, which is a darker tone. When these came out, some people actually complained a little bit because this one, along with the Vanquish from Die Another Day, came out at the same time, and everybody thought the same thing. This was the first generation of packaging that they were coming back out with for, coming up on 60 years of Bond. And when they did this packaging, everybody was a little disappointed in how simple it was, but also the fact that the paint jobs, they were better, but they weren't matching. The Vanquish, if you look at it, it's much, much darker than the actual car itself. And that carries over here. You can clearly see that. Now, if we spin them around back and we look at the rear ends here, this is where it almost becomes, this is really where that stance jumps out at you and kind of slaps you in the face. Having that wider, squatted, less length on that rear end really makes the details jump out on these guys. And you can see it in the proof there. Just in the taillights alone, the taillights are not the right size on the Johnny Lightnings. They're much taller. You're still going to get quite a bit of details, but again, Johnny, you get that painted silver bumper versus the Hot Wheels having that chrome bumper. Hot Wheels again is going to have more decals, more detailed decals. And then we do get the license plate, and I will give it to Johnny on that one. The license plate is larger, but I don't know that that's a good thing. And the biggest difference is the undercarriage right here. Now, if we flip them upside down and look, we can clearly see that undercarriage on the Hot Wheels, it almost protrudes a little bit, which would lend to hiding where the rocket would hide. And on Johnny, we just get that silver undercarriage. Again, guys, these are 1/64th. I don't expect these to be, 1/18th scale, 1/10th scale level detail. Now, one of the biggest things off the top, and you may have noticed this already, and I think this is my favorite little element about this, I'm gonna bring Danny back in for this, is on the Hot Wheels, we actually get a satin soft top section, as to where with the Johnny Lightning, we get nothing. And if you can't see that, let me bring that up a little bit more. There, now you can clearly see it. And it's a completely different color. From what I can tell, I thought it was a sticker. It may be it's most likely a tampo. But you don't feel the edge on it. Like, it's not, if it is a sticker, it's a tampo, which means it's like a water slide sticker. And that satin finish, that is sharp, and that sets it apart. Really, really like that. You've also got windshield wipers embedded in to the windscreen, versus with the Johnny Lightning, you just don't get those details. You get the windshield wipers here, and they are painted. So there's another little detail, you know, around the Hot Wheels, you don't get the trim around the windscreen. So you're missing any detail around the windscreen and around the doors here. As you can see, the line is here, but it's not painted. So you get none of that. As where with the Johnny, when you're looking at it, look at this, all this detail. So it's almost like a pick and choose. So tale of two cars, two Astons, one movie, two movies really. And I think we all know which movie was more beloved by fans as far as seeing this car in action. No Time to Die was more of an homage, bringing this car back as to remind everyone, hey, Bond still has this car, he just uses it sparingly. But truth be told, I think we both know the heritage of this vehicle, where the fandom really loves seeing it. And of course, that's going to be in the Living Daylights. And that's where this car was birthed. That's where it shined. We've got the ski gadgets, we got the rockets, we got the lasers, you name it, the Stinger missiles. So a few optional extras were added. And unfortunately, while we don't get them in these vehicles, I can only hope that maybe someone like Corgi or even Motomax may release one in the future that will have some of those gadgets included. But we're talking about these two today, Johnny Lightning versus Hot Wheels. Who wins for you? Which one was better? Let me know down in the comments. I can't wait to read them. I'd like to thank little Mr. Daniel Craig here for helping me out today. And if you would like to support the channel, please consider shopping my merch store. I've got all kinds of designs, including this one, the Baja, as well as several others, including Spectre Island Pyrotechnics Instructor and Tiger's Ninja Training Gear, which is geared a little bit more towards athletic wear. So if you're training to be a ninja, you've got everything you need. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. And as always, Merry Christmas, 007.